I've been keeping up with several creators lately who really dive deep into the intellectual side of hip-hop culture, and honestly, it's been refreshing. But today, we need to address something that's a lot messier than that. This is one of those situations where someone appears to have quietly set their principles aside in exchange for a financial opportunity, and it's unfolding publicly, right in front of the audience that trusted them. As I've said before, not every dollar is worth picking up off the floor. So here's what's dominating the conversation right now. Big Bank just sat down with 6ix9ine for an interview, and to understand why that matters, you need to remember the history. For years, 6ix9ine has been treated as persona non grata across Atlanta. He's been taking shots at rappers, throwing around snitch accusations, and generally doing everything in his power to provoke a reaction from the city. And for the most part, the major Atlanta artists handled it the right way. They didn't feed into it. They recognized the bait and left it alone. But 6ix9ine is more calculated than people give him credit for. When the younger artists wouldn't engage, he didn't walk away. He adjusted his approach. If he couldn't get the up-and-comers to respond, he'd go straight to an established platform with credibility and access.
Due to recent events surrounding the 6ix9ine interview, I had to seek counseling. I had to go to a group because I was spiraling. I called in Dewberry from Dallas, Texas, Ray Daniels from the south side, of Atlanta, my brother Parlay from the west side of Atlanta, and my dog DJ Scream without a moderator at all, man. Y'all go check in, man, and pray for me. Pray for me.
Here's the part that really stands out, though. This interview didn't just drop out of nowhere. They've been sitting on that footage for 4 months before releasing it to the public. And that detail tells you everything you need to know about how this decision was actually processed internally. When you do something and then spend 4 months going back and forth about whether the world should ever see it, that's not strategy. That's your conscience refusing to stay quiet. That's the part of you that already knows how it looks, trying to buy itself enough time to find a justification. Big Bank eventually sat down with Ray Daniels and a few others in what appeared to be an attempt to explain his reasoning publicly. But what came out of that conversation was more revealing than anything he probably intended to share. He admitted that he had to seek counseling because the backlash from simply doing the interview had sent him into a genuine spiral. Think about that for a second. Not the backlash from some major controversy, not a legal situation or a public scandal. The backlash from sitting down with 6ix9ine had him seeking professional help to cope. And rather than taking that internal reaction as a signal that maybe the decision was wrong, he brought his inner circle together to help him build a case for why it was actually fine. That's not reflection. That's a group effort to...
Like all these young street niggas look up to you. So I can't fight 21, Thug, and these. I can't fight them all. But if I go to the OG and make my case, no. And his perception, his perception is you as OG on some Atlanta shit. Like that's I'm gonna go to their OG because they got to be their OG. Because
they're my partners. I can't convince nobody. Yeah, but go ahead.
But you're still older than them. Yeah, they're your partners.
We're not talking about the street bank. I keep telling you this. Yeah, bro.
You they OG. Like if them call you and you done beat your demons already. That's what I love about you the most. You fighting your demons. You like, I'm not with that. So I saw it, but my concern was he was going to use you as what he needed to do, which was basically bring you here and say, look, because it wasn't about you. He knew for a fact, if I do this to the bank, every in Atlanta gonna see it.
Well, listen, but that's why that's what we knew. I knew that we were gonna be from it. Because you have to be able to step outside what you do for people to see how really great you are.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Out the comfort zone.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
At times, probably.
The whole time.
No, the whole time.
But get what? I'm gonna keep it real, man. I just said this on Ryder on some G shit. You know what I'm saying? It's still. I'm looking at it when I'm watching it. I'm saying like, damn, Bank. I'm proud of you for even going.
For
you know what I'm saying?
That's
like it took 4 months to get this done or whatever, whatever. Like, that was all cap what I put online when I said, hey, y'all, tag 6ix9ine, whatever. We already been trying to do that for months. or whatever. They reached out first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we had to figure this shit out. I'm battling with myself like, hell nah. Hell nah. Hell nah. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it a brick. But then I thought about it like, why not? You know what I'm saying? So I put it online. I'm battling with it. I put it online, see what they say. You know, the usual suspects gonna call. Are you serious? Yeah. Chain gang, hell yeah. KK calling her, hell yeah, do that shit. What? You ain't talking.
I agree with you. I just feel like when you have that place is when feeding your family is more important than your pride.
Facts.
And when you get to that place like me, dog, like I got pride like a motherfucker. I'll go DoorDash to feed my kids with no problem. So if I'm gonna go DoorDash to feed my kids, I'll do an interview.
Exactly.
I do an interview that I don't want to do because because that's what life is. Like, you don't think every great Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, anybody we look up to, they all dealt with shit they didn't want to. And that's what made them great.
I thought about this too, like what you just said. That shit crazy, bro. Nigga risked his life to feed his kid. So you won't do an interview to feed your kid?
Yeah.
Like, keep it a brick. Nigga, we don't risk our life.
Nah.
Freedom.
It makes sense.
I'm talking about to sell somebody something for $10.
It makes sense now.
Like, you finna get $10. You finna stand out all day. Your whole network is $88. And your life is at risk for this $88. And a nigga ain't finna do an interview that gonna potentially make you million.
But you gotta realize something. You a businessman. See, we started talking street shit and we talking business. When you become a businessman, you gotta understand, you gotta brush shoulders with certain people that you really wouldn't brush shoulders with.
Because it's business now.
Because it's business, right?
Facts.
Okay, in the streets, we play a different ball game.
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
I don't fuck with you.
Facts.
So we gotta break down what we talking. We talking street or we talking business?
We talking right now us. We can't
right
speak
now
to
us is business.
When the explanation finally came, it boiled down to one thing: money. Big Bank essentially admitted outright that he set street politics aside because the financial offer was too significant to walk away from. Ray Daniels was right there in the background, co-signing the decision, framing it as a calculated move, pointing out that 6ix9ine understood exactly what he was doing. If he could get to a respected OG with a real platform, the entire Atlanta scene would have no choice but to pay attention. Big Bank tried to reframe the whole thing as an act of confidence, stepping outside his comfort zone to demonstrate his range and his stature as an interviewer. But his own words contradicted that framing. He admitted he was conflicted the entire time. And it got worse from there. Those posts he put up asking his audience whether he should do the interview, he admitted those were misleading. The deal had already been finalized months before he ever asked the question. He was performing deliberation for an audience, while the decision had already been made behind closed doors. The defense they leaned on is one that surfaces every time someone in this space makes a move that doesn't sit well with the culture. I have to feed my family. One of the personalities in the room actually compared it to driving for DoorDash, arguing that if a person would risk their safety on the streets for $80, why would they turn down an interview that could generate millions? They tried to repackage the whole situation as businessman bank versus street bank, like those are two equally valid and interchangeable identities. But that argument has a fundamental flaw in it. You cannot spend years building credibility on street principles, position yourself as someone who holds the culture to a certain standard, and then selectively apply those principles only when they're financially convenient. The moment
I never did none of that shit because I could never, even though Bank, I'm a totally different now, but I can't outgrow the seeds that I planted. I planted certain seed that I could never outgrow. Like, if I did certain shit, I can't speak on Gucci. I'm just gonna put myself in the shoes and answer it the way I would handle it.
I got you.
If I'm in the streets and I take from niggas, somebody takes something from me, I gotta respect it, because they had to respect it. Karma is karma, bro.
I'm with you.
Shit, what goes around comes around for real. I don't know if I believe in karma now. I don't know if people believe in karma now. But I believe, bro, what you plant come back to you, and you gotta respect it in a certain degree.
So do you think he shouldn't have called the police? Or you think that he shouldn't have talked about being with the police?
I think you should have took your...
You cannot spend years planting seeds of street integrity and then act genuinely surprised when the people around you expect you to actually live by what you preached. Moral standards do not come with an opt-out clause for the right dollar amount. You do not get to be the voice of accountability on Monday and the exception to the rule on Friday. The industry responded accordingly. Jim Jones didn't mince words. His message was sharp and straightforward. It's a strange thing to watch someone who built their reputation on realness sit across from a rat because the cheese was right. No lengthy breakdown, no complicated argument, just a direct observation that cuts straight to the heart of what everyone was already thinking. Cameron and Mays took it a step further on their platform and raised a question that honestly deserves a real answer. Can you genuinely maintain a street code and operate as a credible, serious journalist at the same time? Because those two identities carry very different sets of obligations. A journalist chases access, platforms voices regardless of reputation, and frames everything through the lens of content and conversation. A person operating under street principles understands that certain doors stay closed regardless of what's behind them financially. The problem is that Big Bank has spent years presenting himself as both simultaneously, and for a long time the audience accepted that. But the 6ix9ine interview forced a moment of clarity that couldn't be talked around or rationalized away. At some point,
and still be a journalist. That's what people are starting to ask.
Right.
And it's because of something, I guess it was 6ix9ine or something, talking to Big Bank or something, and that question was asked. And I thought that was real powerful. I was like, man, I'm going to ask Killer that one day.
Thing
Can
about it
can
is,
you keep the street code and still be a great journalist?
yeah, absolutely. Thinking about it is this, right? Even if I'm writing music or writing a movie or anything, I'm living off memory. I'm not in the streets.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been in the streets in years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you're sitting there saying a street code, it's certain things that I still live by that I wouldn't do. As far as, the reason, like you said, 6ix9ine or whoever, is because I think also, right, what happens is this, and I'm not speaking about anybody specifically, you got podcasters who's gang members, and that shit never goes away.
Yeah.
So when you're a podcaster and you're a gang member, it's like, yo, you tripping, fool.
Get the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Crody, you know what I'm saying? When you're gang related.
And that is exactly the tension Cameron and Mace were pointing at. When you are a podcaster who simultaneously claims gang ties and OG status, you are not operating in a neutral space. You cannot be. The reputation you built on the streets does not clock out when the microphone turns on. It walks into that studio with you every single time. People are not looking at Big Bank as an objective journalist who happened to book an unconventional guest. They are looking at someone who spent years presenting himself as 5 feet deep in the culture, and now appears to be 5 feet out the moment a significant enough check arrives. That distinction matters enormously to the audience that built his platform up in the first place. At the end of the day, Big Bank may have secured a financial win from this situation, but the brand took a very real hit in the process. And in this space, the brand is everything. Here is why that matters long term. Once an audience understands that your platform operates with a price point that sits above your principles, your credibility never quite recovers to where it was. Your opinions carry less weight. Your callouts land differently. Your standards start looking like suggestions rather than convictions. In media, and especially in cultural media, credibility is the only currency that actually compounds over time. Lose it for the wrong reason, and rebuilding it is an uphill climb that most people never fully complete.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
The next minute, you don't give a fuck. There are no rules to the game. Those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And that's what Bank fell in.
Mm-hmm.
See, say with Gucci. When Gucci, once if the nigga robs me, I'm a business man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if I take niggas' money, I'm a motherfucker G. This.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, you 5 foot in and 5 foot out.
Yeah.
If bankers stood on business and said, you know what? I'm out of the game all the way, and out of the game does not mean you're actually doing it physically. It's what you're putting
Mentally,
into the
exactly.
universe.
Exactly.
What you're putting into the universe.
Exactly.
So meaning, you can't say that you're out of the game and then turn around and interview Young Thug and give him a pass, or 21 a pass, but then you call 6ix9ine a snitch.
Exactly. 6ix9ine just say, Bank, I paid you to come interview me. Is Bank gonna get that same madness?
Right.
People gonna move the goalposts, bro. It come a time like, when is right, wrong, leave it all the way alone. Like, I'm just a podcaster.
You just said something, I want to forget it. I don't want to forget the move past. If I'm known as a snitch, me and you have went through this before.
Yeah.
With you know, like Bootsy's and stuff. And I can't do a record with him because he's a snitch.
Yeah.
I stand on business and stuff. But you could go, what's the difference in Bank interviewing a snitch and Kodak doing a song with the
Michael
snitch?
Jackson, Michael.
No. Bank just said on the interview where he shouted yours truly out on Atlanta Culture
What up, though?
that Gucci was dead ass wrong for talking to the police about Pooh Shiesty.
He's not supposed to give his opinion.
And you can go back and you can look at it. He said, and I quote, Gucci could have said that this was all a game. We did it for marketing. If any one of y'all give a statement on Pooh